Newcomb. Oh, great work at the net. Dan Howard,
the set, which is a great and right up there. Another nice pass to the poles. The poles are passing well. And baseline.
And more importantly, they've got away to a 2-point lead at a very crucial stage of the game, and a timeout's been called by the Polish coach.
Great chase there from Dan Howard. He worked really hard to get out there. Wasn't in perfect position, but still got his hands up and controlled the ball into the court. An excellent effort. That's not kill block number 6 for the Australians in this set.
Well, no wonder all the Serie A clubs in Italy are chasing this man, Dan Howard. He's been brilliant in World League in his debut season. Statistically, he's one of the leading blockers in the competition. Stelio Di Rocco can smell a victory in the opening set here. You can see how pumped up he is. You take another look at this point with Newcomb serving.
It's a beautiful pass. Right on the money, and look at that way Dan Howard's reaching right out there at the last minute, but turning. The important thing was he's turned his hands into the court, so he controlled the ball back into the court. What he could have easily have done there is just kept facing out, blocked the ball straight out of court.
Australia with a 2-point lead, make that a 3-point lead. 21-18 now.
Good, strong first play after a timeout. Australians will be very happy with that.
Now, Scott Newcomb is serving again. Australia are just 4 points away from taking the opening set in Poland. It would be a marvellous start to the game if they could.
Nice backcourt play there from Hackett. Swung hard on, nice and aggressive on it. And the ball just coming off the arms of the Australian block. Again, Dan Howard not getting out there quite quick enough. And maybe Ben Hardy should have stepped another half a metre inside to close that seam a little bit more.
An important point for Australia, and a point to Poland. Must have been just the faintest of net touches there, perhaps, by Newcomb.
No, that ball was an overpass. The ball came above, any part of the ball is above the centre line of the net. The Poles can play at the ball, and that ball's over the net. Poles played it. Scott Newcomb, as a backcourt setter, couldn't reach above the height of the net and be involved in the action, so it was straight away a point to the Poles.
Well, another timeout's been called. That's the Polish coach, Irenusz Mazur. He was the coach of the Polish junior team, which won the World Championships in 1997. Didn't seem to be too much, not that I can speak Polish, mind you, but it didn't seem to be too much tactical there. It was more like firing the boys up, saying, come on, come on.
Yeah, I think the Poles know that they can, they're confident within themselves that they can go out there and win the game. It's not a matter of they're tactically not playing well. I think realistically what the Polish coach would be saying to them is, you know, gee yourself up a little bit, get in there and fight them. Good hit there from position 2 for Ben Hardy. And that's where the Australians seem to be getting a lot of points out of position 2, because I don't think the Poles are used to blocking so, or move that well to position 2 to block. You know, really what set the Australians up here is the blocking. You know, the passing's been pretty good for the Poles, been splitting them up, you know, giving the Australians a tough chance to read. And there was a backline, a handover call there. The Australian back row hitter must have put his foot on the line when he's come in to attack the ball, which on the 3-metre line, which means that he's inside the 3-metre line and he's not allowed to attack the ball from above the height of the net.
Well, it's back to a 1-point game. And that's a point to Australia. And you can tell when the Aussies have won the point, because the crowd just goes deathly silent before they come up with the chance again. And now Australia are just 2 points away from taking the opening set.
Get a nice pass from the Poles, but not enough action there with the spike. They have a second chance. Ball touching the fingertips of the block there. This is a part of the set where the Australians have to chase those balls. They really have to be throwing themselves around.
See that hit by Swiderski there. That just came off the fingers before going out.
Ronan with the win there. There's a set point then for the Australians. They've got to be tough here. Probably not the optimal front line on at the moment, and Stelio Rocco just trying to strengthen that front line by bringing the setter Scott Newcombe off and putting Russ Wentworth, who's 198, out on the court there to strengthen that blocking height. They'll be going for the kill block here.
Van Beest takes a bit of heat off the serve. Set point for Australia.
Oh, unfortunate there. That ball's gone down in front of the Australians. They left themselves about 20 centimetres of space between the net and their block, which is crucial. If you do that, the ball, you'll get the stuff block all right, but it'll go straight down your own toes instead of theirs.
But it's still set ball. This is crucial. It's gone out. 24 each.
Two opportunities there for the Australians. One with the block, an error on the block. Okay, that's a tough call, but a hitting error on set point just shows a little bit of inexperience there at the moment. And again, the Poles with a chance to get back in it. Good control. And the Australians block the ball out.
Well, they've lost 3 points on the trot, the Australian side, and all of a sudden the match has turned on its head, and it's Poland now with set ball in the opening set. Don't the crowd love this, but Stelio Rocco is not a happy man.
Yeah, he's got every right to be disappointed. There was 3 strong opportunities where the Australians had to take that set out.
That's what we talked about before. We take full advantage of it. On the obvious balls, they're just going to position 4, so we have to get out right away.
Yeah, Stelio Rocco was just saying there, when it's a bad pass or anything like that, they're going to set the ball at position 4, so the Australians need to commit themselves out there. Bit of Aussie support out there in the crowd, good to see.
Not too noisy though, that bloke. Oh, the guy next to him making a bit of noise.
You have to be brave anyway to be standing up too much, making too much noise there. But yeah, the Australians need to commit that block out there and be a little bit more in position at the time of the spike to get those balls going down on the pole side of the net. Now, the Poles have fought back well through Spadansky, and he's been leading them with the aggression and the spiking.
Set point to Poland. And Australia respond with Van Beest. 25 each.
He hits that ball really well down the line because there's not a lot of room there. You've probably only got 50 to 60 centimetres of space between the antenna and the hands of the blocker. So you've got to be really accurate to do it, and he's getting them day in, day out, which is a great sign. A great serve there for the ace for the Australians. Gives them set point again. Big ace there for the Australians, is very important.
The game has changed once again. Dave Beard, big serve from him under pressure, and he didn't pull back, and it's set point to Australia now.
And the Poles have called a timeout here, just trying to settle these guys down, and the Australians will be looking to come back out there. It'll be hard for Dave Beard to go back after a timeout and go in with a big jump serve straight after a timeout.
Mark Lebedew, the assistant coach of the Australian team. Statistics, such a vital part of volleyball. You see Lebedew there with the laptop recording every single point. Stelio Rocco, I think, was just asking him something about the lineup of Poland when they're receiving the serve, maybe. But now, Dave Beard, set ball for Australia. Ben Loft is on. What a moment for the youngster.
This is a tough play for Beardy because he's still got to go for the hit, the jump serve. Oh, and just missed it. It's a tough play because he's got to still go for it, because otherwise it'll set up an easy play for the Poles. But to get that fine line between how much you go for it and how much you just get it in play.
26 all. What a thrilling opening set we've had here in Łódź. Point to Australia. Dan Ronan through the middle.
Yeah, look at that. Did very well to get it around that big Polish block hanging out there on him, but he turned it well, hit away from the winner. Now he has a chance to serve for the set.
That's out.
Just off the fingertips.
Gee, I thought we'd won it there.
Spadansky again for the Poles. He's really their money man at the moment. Just must have been a very faint tip off the Dan Howard's fingertips there, I think. He was just reaching out to try to get it, and Dave Beard couldn't cover it in the backcourt. 27 all. Great match here. And this shows how tight this World League is at this level. Good control there from the Poles. Gives them an opportunity here. Three-man block from the Australians. Oh, great play there from the Australians. The back, Dan Howard saw the opportunity there, ran around behind the setter for the back quick, and the Polish block just weren't there in time. Dan Howard hits it for the winner. Scott Newcomb setting very well in this game.
Scott Newcomb now going to serve again. It's set ball for Australia. That's well out.
On a float serve, even though it's a jump float serve, it's still a float serve. You've got to get the ball in. It's as simple as that. You've got to back up your jump servers to give them the opportunity to go for the big serves.
Just shows you the nerves out there, doesn't it? I mean, that's a straightforward serve.
Novak gave that heaps of power then. Just
clip the net. 29-28. Australia with another set ball. Now Hardy is the team's best server.
Soft roll. Good defensive block from the Australians. The overpass, and that's it. The Australians take out the set, and listen to that crowd go quiet.
How to silence 6,000 fans in an instant, and Dan Howard has done exactly that. He punished that mistake by Poland, and Australia have taken the opening set, and it's their first ever set, remember, that they've won in World League Volleyball, taking it by 30-28.
The backcourt spike, he was set up, nice defensive block again. Howard involved there. And they overpass. Crucial error from the Poles. Dan Howard will be very happy to take that opportunity to take Australia's first set in World League.
Yes, it was an absolute gift, and Howard doesn't miss those, and Stelio De Rocco can now smell a victory. Australia taking the opening set. Start of the fourth set now. Poland leading by 2-1 after Australia took the opening set. So the Aussies are up against it in the sense that they must take this set to stay in the game. If they can level the scores at 2 sets apiece, we go into a tiebreaker set, which is first to 15.
Ben Hardy with a nice strong block in position 4 for the Australians. Start the set off. Good defensive up there from Shane Van Beest, and spikes it for the win across court. Australia go to a 2-0 lead.
Well, Van Beest virtually won the point on his own there, just keeping the ball up, and then it was set to him and he finished it off as well. It's great to see him back in the green and gold of Australia. He was laid up in Canberra in his tiny little cubicle at the AIS with chicken pox for 10 days. So frustrating for him to be in that position when Australia were just starting the World League program against Italy.
It was a nice serve from Scott Newcomb with the jumping float, this time going very short. But the Poles did well to get back into it. Just wiping the floor now. There's time out so that in case the floor is slippery so nobody can slip and injure themselves.
And their number 1 setter is back on the court, Andrei Stelmak. The number 2, he's the spiritual leader of the team, certainly the most experienced player there. So Zagumny, who started the match as the setter, has taken a break. And the lineup has been just beefed up a little bit by the Polish coach, Mazur.
Ball just clipping the tape there on the jump serve. That's an error. And the Poles go back to serve. Rushka, the jump float for the Poles. Dave Wade, perfect pass, double quick. Shane Van Beest in the middle, taking that winner. One of the few times we've seen this play with the Australians. Both Shane Van Beest and Dan Howard doing double quick. Nobody's jumped on Shane Van Beest there, so it was a good read for Scott Newcomb to set that play then through the middle of the court. The centre block was too far away from him. There's an error from the Poles. Australians celebrate that one. They'll really need to put some dominance in here now to start getting that roll on, because the Poles, it looks like they've gone a little bit flat after taking the last 2 sets. The Australians now break away with a 5-2 lead. It's very important they put some pressure on here, but the Poles aren't giving up. Great spike there from Papke.
Poland's certainly lifted their game a notch or two after the opening set went to Australia, taking the next 2 sets. Australia with a 2-point lead in the opening stages of the 4th set.
Ball clipping the fingertips and going out. Another point there to the Australians. Big serve, but a strong pass. Unfortunately, they're the hardest ones to defend against. Papke's taken that spike. It's clipped the block's fingertip. The defence is set, ready for the hard-driven ball. Clips it, the block. Pace has just come off it. Dan Howard did a good effort to try to pick it up, but it's so hard to read that and know where it's going to land.
6-4 to Australia. Newcombe can't get there.
Over pass, and Novak makes the most of that opportunity. And Ronan in mid-air trying to soccer the ball into the air. He couldn't quite get his boot under it.
Not much Newcombe could do about up against the big man Novak there. 6-5 to Australia. Now Poland level. The score's at 6 apiece. A good comeback by Poland in the opening stages of the 4th set.
The Poles have changed up their blocking position. They put Novak out into position 4, their position 4 against Shane Van Beest, because Shane Van Beest hits the line so much. They've moved Novak out of the middle and trying to line them up against Shane Van Beest. They've done it here again. Triple block on the outside now. Error from the Australians. Just too big a block. It's smart tactical play from the Poles here. This is really going to test the Australians out and see how Scott Newcombe reacts to it, because Scott Newcombe will be calling the play in this situation. He'll be the one trying to work out how he gets around that block. That was a good point there for the Australians. It was a tough play. Bit of a scrappy play, lead up to it, but Ben Hardy there shows his experience, why he is one of the best players in the Australian team. Puts that one away from the winner still. The Australians need to do this float serve from 5 or 6 metres behind the court. And there was an overpass for a win. The Polish players passed the ball and really close to the net. Ronan stayed on the ground, and Pole setter Stelmach has just whipped it down for the point. But the Australians on a tight ball like that, you've got to jump on it and occasionally take a swing at it to try to convince.
Well, in the middle of all the Polish fans, there's an Australian flag at the back there.
There was that great double quick the Australians ran before. Beautiful play. And this is great blocking there from Novak, reaching in there, cross court, taking out Van Beest. And Van Beest is looking back to see who that was that got the block on him.
But it was an awesome leap, wasn't it? He was so high.
Beautiful penetration on it.
Stelmach, that little touch in the mould of Scott Newcombe.
The Australian blockers to defend against that, the easiest way to defend is stand with your hands high and your hands just cocked backwards a little bit, and hopefully you'll throw the ball into your fingertips and it'll bounce it back up again. Nice backboard spike there. There's Papke coming to the forefront for the Poles again. He's starting to hit that ball with some heat now. The crowd's behind him, and the Poles leading the 4th set, 9 points to 7. Error there from Dave Waite. Poles in control. The back set from Novak, not known for his setting ability.
Newcombe under pressure with the pass there.
Control opportunity here for the Australians. Van Beest from the back court, off the fingertips for the point. Very, very important point. You can see there Shane Van Beest still suffering some of the effects of the chicken pox, but a very important point for the Australians.
Big challenge for Van Beest now, isn't it, Steve, with Novak marking him, if you like, and it's a real test of his ability as a young player. He's only 19, remember, so he's up against a very tough opponent in Mladen Novak.
Yeah, it'll be a great opportunity for Van Beest to show that he can get in there and mix it with these guys, even when they change up the tactics on him, because it'll show a sign of his maturity if he changes his hitting style, maybe. Oh, and again, point to Stelmach with that tip.
2 in the set.
Really, you can't, they're not a hard-driven ball. It's got to be picked up. You've got to either change the defensive line up here and commit one of your position 1 or position 5 and start them in closer for that ball, waiting for it, or the blockers have to start with their hands up.
Well, Novak, who's got a great reputation as a server, one of the leading servers in World League this year so far, but that one's just gone out. Regarded as the 4th best server in the World League so far this season.
Scott Newcombe will be looking at putting this ball probably short again. Fast pass in there. Big double block on by Shane Van Beest and Dan Howard, the Australian 2 big men. And beautiful penetration again. Hands way up high. Both of them trying to close that gap, which they did very well, because otherwise that ball would have split their hands. Both touching up on it. Great block for the Australians. Gives them the lead in this set for the first time in this last half of the set. And again, another error from the Poles. Papke hitting that ball into the tape. 12 points to 10, the Australians lead at the timeout.
Well, very uncharacteristically, Papke, it wasn't even as though it took the tape, it was underneath the tape, top of the net. And Stella DeRocco now knows the side is a 2-point lead. The jacket's off for him. He's got the sleeves rolled up, ready for business.
Hey, it's our situation again now. We put ourselves in. Keep building. Times here, exactly.
So the Polish fans really enjoy their volleyball. It's almost packed here, the stadium in Łódź.
There's 2 very vibrant Australian supporters.
And that's a point to Poland. Back to the action on the court. Australia.
The overpass, giving the Poles the opportunity to get back into the game. Crucial error at this point of the finger pass too from Ben Hardy. You can't afford to do a finger pass across the net like that. Ball going along there for the Poles, giving the Australians the opportunity to get back into the game. Ben Hardy, Australia's best server, going to the line of the jump serve. They really needed to pull out a big ace here.
I tell you what, Steve, these points after the timeout are so important, aren't they? Sometimes Australia comes out, it just takes a little bit of time to get going again, and they lost 3 points on the trot there.
You can see that ball clipping the tape. Beautiful replay there. Clipping the tape on the serve. Yeah, that's correct. You know, really, you have to keep your head on the job all the time, because at this level of volleyball, it's not your skills that win you the game. It's your mental toughness. And the reason the opposition call a timeout is to break that rhythm, break that momentum. And if you don't come back and punish them for the errors they made beforehand, the other team has basically won the point by a tactical play.
Yeah, so let's give some credit too to the Polish coach. That was well played by him, and it's 14-13 now to the Aussies, and that one has just stayed in, and it's a 2-point lead again to Australia as they try to force their way back into this match, trailing by 2 sets to 1.
Ben Loft, first international block. He'll be stoked. Young player, just getting blooded at international level and the senior level. Been very strong for Australia at junior level, and he'll be stoked about that one. But the Australians will be very disappointed about that. Dave Beard pulling away on that spike, getting his hand under the ball and just soaring it out of the court.
So Jacewicz for Poland goes back to take the serve. It's gone over the net, off his shoulder, I think.
He'll be happy about that one too, his first defensive stat. Defending off his own spike. Good defence there from the Poles and good aggressive play. Set that point up there for the Polish team with some great defensive play, some good blocking. Set for the 3-man block from the Australians, but he threaded the eye of the needle. The Australian flag waving, but the Poles managed to take that one out.
Great pick up there by Poland.
One of the Polish attackers slipped in the court, trying to attack that one, and Shane Van Beest watching, praying, hoping that the ball will go out of court.
So, as we move into the second technical timeout here in Łódź, it's Australia leading by 16 points to 15. And remember, there's some great international volleyball coming to Australia. We listen to Stelio De Rocco.
Fast moves on bad passes to the outside to contain. We've done that now, and it's caused us a lot of good opportunities.
The Polish fans just a little bit impassive, but coming up at the Sydney Entertainment Centre between the 5th and the 8th of August is the TAFE New South Wales International Volleyball Challenge. Some great international action coming your way. In the men's division, it's Australia up against the mighty Netherlands. The women's Australian team will take on Italy, China and the Netherlands as well. Don't miss this great action, August the 5th to the 8th at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. It should be quite brilliant, and Australia have already had a taste of World League action, so they're really enjoying the movement within volleyball that is growing within this country as Shane Van Beest takes the serve. Australia leading by points.
Swiderski again to the poles. They've been sharing that workload between him and Papke, and they've both been working very hard at it. They're not the biggest players on court for the Polish team, but very effective with their spiking. Van Beest cranking that one, but just pulling it too wide. Just out down the line. The Poles very happy to take that point.
Pavel Papke with the big jump serve. Newcomb stretching.
Tough set to make that one, when the Australians didn't make the most of it, but the Poles certainly did. This time it's Papke again, out of the backcourt, cranking that ball, three-man block, coming off the arms. He's ecstatic about it.
Poland have just upped the ante a little bit in the last few points. They've taken 3 on the trot. Remember, Australia went into the timeout with a 16-15 lead. Now they're trailing by 18-16 as Stelio De Rocco calls the timeout, and the Polish fans can sense that a victory is just a few points away.
It's maybe something the Australian team need to look at doing, is a routine on what they do when they come out of a timeout, because routines are very important at this level of volleyball, so you get yourself set into that mindset again. It's very easy when you come out after a timeout to sort of sit there and wait for the action to happen again, whereas maybe what they need to do is get a bit of a routine in their mind or as a team on how to build themselves up so that they're at that level. Once they get back on the court, they're at that same level as when they came off the court. Again, Dave Beard there, getting under that ball. If his timing's out, he has a tendency to not get any topspin on the ball. And that means lets a banana out. It doesn't get that, the topspin will get the drop on the ball. And the Australians have done a double sub here. Dave Beard's come off. Russ Wentworth's gone on. Scott Newcomb's come off. And Russ Wentworth, sorry, went on for Scott Newcomb onto the front line there.
And Jakovicius has also come on, Australia's other setter.
So this is a double sub to strengthen the block for the Australians, getting some more height out there on the front line. It's a very normal type blocking routine, substitution routine you do when you've got a shorter setter in your team.
Well, it's a tough situation for Australia now, trailing by 3 points and 2 sets to 1. That's gone long. It's a point to Poland. They lead 20-16.
This is where Stelio De Rocco will be having a little bit of doubt in his mind at the moment whether it was the right sub to do, because an error there. The set was a little bit low. The spike went too long.
It is a risk, but at the same time, he does have to try something to just change the way things are going, because they were trailing by 3 points.
Yeah, I think we probably need to be a little bit more. Ooh, I think that's a controversial call there.
What about that one? That was well long.
I think there was something like, that's a joke mentioned in that call there. That ball was easy 20 centimetres long there.
2 umpires there as well. Can the umpire overrule the linesman, Steve?
The umpire can that ball was easy 20 centimetres long. The umpire can overrule the linesman. There's a baseline linesman, you'll see there. You see a baseline linesman looking across the baseline and a sideline calling down the sideline. The Australians have called a timeout there because they need to get their heads back onto the game, and I think Stelio wants to vent some of his anger, yelling at a few players, maybe just get things pumped up again.
We got to hit the goddamn ball in the court. We're putting things out of bounds on 101. Come on, we worked so damn hard to be here. Let's go.
Well, all the emotion of the occasion coming out in the Australian coach, and some frustration as well, Steve. That call was just a shocker.
Yeah, what he was saying there was not aimed at the players at all. They were just to relieve the pressure. You can't yell at an umpire or a linesman because you get a card or sent out. So really, he wanted to let off some steam, and the players probably did as well. So they need to get back into it now, though, and control the court again. And there's a point, that's a very important point for the Australians. They're going to get back into it. Ronan with just a little tip over the top of the block. There was enough to win the point. Now the Australians need to come up with a big block.
Well, good play there by Dan Ronan. And it's Spiro Maratsios who's taking the serve. First look at him in the game.
Ball just coming off the fingertips. Australians will be disappointed there. That probably one they would have liked to get a bit of a cleaner touch on him, but Papke, the man for the Poles again out of the backboard, just getting off the fingertips, and the Australians not chasing it. Nobody's turning and chasing. You have to be able to do that.
It's a 5-point lead for Poland now. They can really just see out the game, and that's a great pickup. Poland's still alive in this point.
Desperate play there from the Poles, and again another great pickup, and it's that man Papke again. He's very excited.
Well, he hammered that one, Papke, right through the Australian defence.
Set up by some brilliant defence from the Poles. The Australians trying to get a three-man block out there. Our position 6 should have been on that power line to try to defend it. Ben Hardy there, hitting the ball away. Maybe a little too late, but the Australians are going to have to keep trying to pull it back. Very difficult to claw back those points at this time of the set. One-on-one block, going for the big coat hanger block, spreading your hands out straight through his hands. Great pickup there from the Australians, and Ben Hardy again with a spike. Poles in control. Through Spadevsky, through the middle this time. They've gone to those two men so many times in this last half of the game. Really, the Australians have to be able to stop them, but they're not doing it. Gives match point to the Poles. Novak to serve. Crowd going berserk. Patchville sub. Going for the extra block height. The Poles are taking no chances in this set. They want to finish and close it out here. And the crowd want them to do it.
What a man to have serving for you as well. Novak, their strongest server. That's gone out. And that is the match to Poland, beating Australia by 3-1. And don't the massive Polish crowd love it. They've seen their side start slowly in today's game, losing the opening set 30-28. The second set was very close as well, but the final two 25-23, 25-18. And Poland just too good for Australia in the opening game.